is 5 over 8. And we move 5 units where? In which direction? Please try.
Down.
So it's positive. It's positive 5. So the rise is 5 units, but it's positive. Up. So we're moving it up. And we are moving 8 units where? So the slope is 5 over 8. So we are moving 5 units up because it's positive, and 8 units where?
The left.
So the slope is positive.
I meant right.
Yes, this is what I would do. So it's positive, so I go up and to the right. So right. Now it is true that we can think about 5 over 8 in the same way as negative 5 over negative 8, because this is still the same answer. And remember, the slope has to be positive, no matter what. In other words, here's what I'm saying. The line has to look like this. So I have a point, then I move up. I'm sorry, from this point, I move up and I move to the right to make sure that the slope is positive. Now, if the slope is negative, it's a different story. So no matter what I do, so I can do this, right and up, and I get a point here, or left and down, and I get a point here, which is the same thing. Again, right 8, up 5, or down 8 and left 5. Same thing. It's on the same line. So let's go back. So remember 5/8 is a positive slope, so it has to look like this. So we go up 5 and to the right 8. But it's the same thing with going down 5, but left 8. Again, from this point, right 8, up 5, or up 5, right 8, or down 5 and left 8. Same thing. Okay. To graph y equals negative 6 over 7x. Now the slope is negative. Start at the y-intercept, which is correct, 0, 8. Then thinking of the slope as negative 6 over positive 7, or you can think in terms of 6 over negative 7. So remember, some time ago, we talked about this 6 over 7x. And remember, 6 over 7 is the same with negative 6 over negative 7. And negative 6 over 7 is negative 6 over 7, or 6 over negative 7. Because this is positive, I can make both negative. Because this is negative, I can only make one negative at a time. Either the top, because negative over positive is negative, or the denominator, because positive over negative is negative, but not both. Here I was able to, and I have to. I cannot have one or the other. That's not possible here, because this is positive. Positive 6 over positive 7 is the same with negative 6 over negative 7. That's why they're trying to illustrate with this example. It's a very good example for practice. So now, y equals negative 6 over 7. Now they connected the negative with the top. Fine. But just also remember that the line has to look like this when the slope is negative. Okay, good. So let's see. So then thinking of the slope as negative 6 over 7, then we move 6 units in which direction? With 5, we moved it up. With negative 6, we have to move it?
Yeah.
Yes. And 7 units, this is the same, doesn't change. Positive 8 units with positive 7 units. It has to be the same.
So that would be right.
Exactly. We can also think of the slope in the same way. So, but 6 over negative 7. So now we move 6 units in which direction and negative 7 in which direction?
This will be up.
Yes, this will be up. And 7 units to the
To the left.
to the left. Yes. Yes. Now you can also let me write these two equations for a second. 5/8 x minus 6, that's 1, and the other one is negative 6 over 7x plus 8. So let's say you forget. Let's say you forgot this rule. Okay, so I'm going to graph it myself. And this better have a positive slope, and this better have a negative slope. So when x is 0, I have 0, negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have the y-intercept. I go up 5, which is here, and 8 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the other point. And the slope is positive. So up 5, right 8. But now I have what happens here. So this time I have 0, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the line has to look like this, mandatory, because of slope. So I go down 6, right here. And remember, it has to have a negative slope, right? Down 6. I connected the negative with the top. But now I have to go to the right, because it's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the point. And this is the line. Also, I can consider it as 6 over negative 7. That's fine. I can go up 6, but then I have to go to the left 7. And I still have a point on the same line. And I will still graph. So up 6, left 7. So I'll get a point here, still on the same line. So that's the trick. Okay? To always find, so when you click on the final check, again, it tells you, so maybe you want to take a picture of this just to make sure. Do you want to take a picture? Should I wait for you to take a picture of this just in case? Do you want me to? I can snip it and send it to everybody.
Oh, yes, please.
Sure. So let me, for a second, I need to create a quick file here so I can send it to you, and I'll send it to you right away. But I'm sure you understood the mechanism. I'll send it right now, but I'm sure you understood the mechanism, correct?
Yes.
And you can always check and make sure that the slope, when you get the slope, when you plot the points, you have the accurate direction. So what should I call it? Slope graphing of a line. Okay, so I'm going to send it right now so you have it. And I am also going to email you the previous test from the fall. So I'm sending you 2 files right now. Let me know if you received them, so you can take a look at this test, so we can work on it on Thursday. And I'm just going to entitle 2 files, so 2 attachments. Almost there, just clicking. Okay, I'm attaching the previous test from last fall. And this is test 2. And please double check that you received those. Please let me know I send it. Let me know if you can open them. I think I sent the correct file, but just double check, please. They are Word files. You should be able to open them with no difficulties, but let me know, please.
I got it, and I can open it.
Both. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Good. So we're back. Good. Good. I'm hoping that this is very clear now. Let's move on. Now, I want to be honest and say the following. Graphing using the slope does not work for anything else but for the line. So it's not, I'm not making such a big deal out of it because the x and y intercepts are way more important for any function. I just have my chair to look. So for any function, x and y intercepts are the most important points, including for the line. So graphing the slope is something interesting. You can find the slope like that from a graph and so on and so forth. Yes, but please remember, it's useless for anything else. You can never ever graph using the slope again. It's just for the simplest possible equation, which is the equation of the line. Okay, that's the only one. Good, let's go back. Okay. Good, so let's see here. Graphs of 4 equations are shown below. State whether m and b are positive, negative, 0, or undefined for the equation this, which is a general equation, slope-intercept form. So for graph A, is m positive, negative, 0, or undefined? So m is the slope. Is the slope positive, negative, 0, or undefined?
Being negative?
Of course, that's what we just discussed. Of course. Okay, look here. Careful. See, it passes to the origin. At least that's how I see it. Now we have to identify B. Is B positive, negative, 0, positive, undefined, positive, negative, or 0? Of course, every line that passes to the origin cannot have a free term. Excellent. Please remember we talked about this a long time ago and quite a lot. Thank you. Moving on to B. For the graph in B, the slope, positive, undefined, negative, 0.
Zero.
Of course, it's a horizontal line. Excellent. What about B?
So the same thing, 0.
Careful. Let's discuss this. So a horizontal line has y equals mx plus b, but since the slope is 0, because the slope is 0, this term is gone. So the y-intercept is the same with the equation. I did not emphasize this before. So when I say y equals -3, it means that the slope is 0, but this is the b. So if the line is under the x-axis, is a negative number. If the line is above the x-axis, then it's b is a positive number. If the line is the x-axis, then it's 0. Okay? Is this clear? And this is only for the horizontal lines. So back to B. In the horizontal line, let's look at the line again and identify B. They're not asking us to find a number, they're asking us to identify whether it's 0, positive, negative, or undefined. B can never be undefined. Ever, 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 ever. B is not a ratio, can never be undefined. It's either 0, negative, or positive. Say yes, of course. It's negative because the line is under the x-axis. Excellent. Moving on to C. For graph of C, the slope. Is the slope positive, negative, undefined? 0.
Negative.
Of course, because it goes in the same direction as this one. Good. What about B? Now I have to identify, I have to look at the y-intercept. If the y-intercept is above the x-axis, then B must be positive. If the y-intercept is below the x-axis, then B must be negative. So graph C, B is
Positive.
positive indeed. Good, moving on, last one. The slope, positive, negative, undefined, 0.
Positive and then negative.
And then negative indeed. That's it, moving on. Thank you. Any questions? Use the slope and the y-intercept. We know how to do this, we just did it. Okay, use the slope and the y-intercept to graph. This is the same thing. Graph the line using the slope and the y-intercept. I don't recommend it, but we know how to do it. You have to first solve for y to find the slope. So in this equation, we have -3x plus y equals 2. -2, okay. So if that is the case, first we have to solve for y. And wisely, we have to insert 3x in front of -2, because we always want this equation to be presented in descending powers of the variable, descending powers of x. The y, because that's the only way I can identify the slope and the y-intercept. If it's not solved for y, I may make a mistake. Can I identify the slope? Yeah, but I don't recommend it. We should always solve for y to identify the slope. And of course, if that's the case, you will start with the y-intercept, 0, -2, which is here. And since the slope is 3/1, what will you do? 3/1.
Just put 3?
Yes, but I need another point. So I identify the 0, -2, which is the y-intercept.
Go up 3/1?
Yes, where do I go to find the other point? Based on what we just discussed and I send you. What did we say a few minutes ago?
3.
Where do we go with 3?
Up 3
Yes, up 3, 1, 2, 3, very good. And
is the right one.
right one, indeed. And I know that I have to have a positive slope, and this is it. That's correct. This is the equation of the line, y equals 3x minus 2, indeed. Good. Very good. Okay, moving on. Find the equation given for the equation, we know complete parts A through C. Put the equation in slope-intercept form. Good. What will you tell me to write? We have the equation negative 9x plus y equals 0. And they're asking us to put it in y equals. What will you write?